My name is Tully Blanchard. Every person, if you could get in front of this camera, has a story to tell. Many, many years ago, before I came to know the Lord, I was in professional wrestling on television, on national television every week, part of the Four Horsemen with Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, and quite well known. I went through a very dramatic life change on November 13th, 1989, and at 4:03 in the morning I asked Jesus to take over my life. And when I said those 5 words, Jesus, take over my life, He did. I gave Him permission to control my life, and He took over. And He took me places that I never thought I would go. He's led me to churches and big churches and small churches and youth groups. He's led me to prisons where I share my testimony to people that have had their freedom taken away from them. And in the course of being diligent and passionate, and if you're a wrestling fan, you know how passionate I was about everything. When I would raise my voice and talk about Dusty Rhodes and get up real close to the camera. That passion God has changed and turned into the love of people instead of just trying to sell tickets. In 1999, my wife decided that we didn't want to be married anymore. And I shouldn't say it quite like that, because there's, in every divorce, there's 2 sides to the story, and I don't want to blame anybody, because I'm as much to blame as she is. But I got 4 children. And at this time, it is absolutely imperative, because my children were 8, 6, 4, and 2. When my oldest daughter became like 14 or 15, she didn't want to see me anymore. And I had a deal with my children that on my weekends to visit, that they didn't have to see me if they didn't want to. I had to regroup when my ex-wife told me that she didn't want to come and visit me and didn't want to see me anymore. The pain that I felt, and then pick up my other 3 children and try to have a good time when you are just dying inside. And what to do with that. How do you handle that? As I was going up to their house to pick them up for a visit, the Lord spoke to me in a very concise way. He said, you have got to show your daughter unconditional love. You have got to show her what it is and how God feels towards her and you. And God gives us unconditional love. He loves us, period. No matter what we do, no matter how bad we foul up, no matter how good we are. He loves us unconditionally. And I'm kind of the type of person, though, you don't want to see me, heck with it, I give you back what you are giving me. But that day, I had to tell my oldest daughter that it was okay, and that I love her whether she wanted to see me or not. And that was probably one of the hardest things that I ever had to do, was live unconditional love and show her unconditional love when I was dying inside. That may be you today. If it is, may I encourage you to depend on the Spirit of God, the power of God that is inside you to do the right thing. Because if you lash out at your daughter, you will do immeasurable harm than if you, who are already hurt, can step forward as Jesus did on the cross and suffered the pain for you and I. If you can do that and show your children what God is in your life, it will make an impression on them also of what it's like to do the right thing and do the God thing in their life when they come to those crossroads. It's very, very difficult to walk with God, because you come by those circumstances and you come by those crossings in the road that you have to do the God thing. You have to forgive. You have to understand that there's an enemy that's trying to kill, steal, and destroy. And you have to be bigger than that.